Hi everyone, this is Liz, and yes, Liz loves to cook. This is my channel, and I'm going to give you an update on my DNA results a week after. So be sure to subscribe to my channel and like my videos, just with a thumbs up, and make sure to click the notification bell so you'll know of any future updates, because it should be exciting with all that I've been doing. Anyway, so what I did was my DNA results. You saw that last week. You saw my reaction to my tests. And this is our update for what's happened since. I had those results, and I got off the camera, put it on there, and then that whole weekend was the weekend before New Year's Day. So what I did was I did 2 days of really just at Ancestry.com research. And Saturday I actually got in touch with this lady, and I won't tell her name until but anyway, she's a DNA angel. She's a wonderful lady. I can't say enough about her. I contacted her because I had a DNA match with a fourth cousin, and she actually said she wanted to help me with mine. She was going to do my tree all myself and let me know the results, but I said, no, I want to know how to do it. I want to do it. So those 2 days, she kind of let me do it and let me do this research. For 2 days, I looked. I talked with her every now and then, because she'd tell me to do this and do that, and so I could get quicker results and with my research. So those 2 days I ate, and then I'd go back into my room and do this research. And my son, he's sitting here helping me with the video today. I'd come out of the bedroom going, look, guess what I found? Guess what I found? Guess what I found? Guess what I saw? You know, guess what my DNA angel said? You know, and all this stuff. And at the end of those 2 days, I had to go back to work Monday, and ended up being a short day. But that day, by the end of the 2-day research, I had found out the story of my paternal side of my family tree. I had it through the results and looking at facts. And the very first connection that I needed to make was with my first cousin. And I did that, and I reached out to her. I reached out to my biological father, because when I first did that, I was like, I saw that he did his DNA test in June of this last year. And through my 2-day research, I did find out that he passed away in August. And through my research, I was able to find his family. I asked my DNA angel, is this normal for me to be this emotional? And she said, yes, because you'll have waves. I'll be emotional, and then I'll be okay. She's spoken to many people and helped them find their family. And she helped me to look for mine. There was one of my viewers that made a comment. I can't remember, and I can't remember the name. But you said, I hope that your father gives you a hug. Well, he can't. But I was able to reach out to family, and my DNA angel, I asked her, I said, I was all ready. See, Monday I was like, oh, I was so worn out mentally that I just couldn't I just kind of relaxed all day, New Year's Day. New Year's Eve with my friends, I wasn't too social. And I understand why, and I don't know if they understand why, but my friends love me, and I know they will. I'll get back to being social with my friends. But after I rested that night, New Year's Day night, after I'd relaxed and watched a movie, and me and my son William did some things that night, my DNA angel had me a task to do, and I did it in my family tree. And then the next morning, when I talked to her on the phone before I went into work, she said that, and I ended up giving her my permissions to edit my tree, because she knew how to get in there and do some things to put in the facts that I found. I found facts. She put them in there that tied up everything to my first cousin. And she did that. And I asked her, I think I asked her the night before, I said, can I contact some people in the family? And she said, yes. She said, and that's when she told me, she said, you have the right tree, the right family. You have the right family. So she did that work on my tree while I relaxed into the fact that I found my family. And I did a message to 4 people, because I had been trying to contact my first cousin in Ancestry.com, and I tried to contact her, and then 2 other ladies and a man. And that there was, I don't know what day it was, but it was just like 3 or 4 days ago, I got a response from my first cousin in Ancestry.com. She messaged me back, and she was so very sweet. So very sweet. I got to talk to my first cousin that I have a DNA match to during my lunch. And I talked to her, and she was so sweet. And I told her where I felt my connection was with her, with my research. And so we talked and shared, and she has messaged me in text since, saying she's very sweet, and she said that she felt I deserved to know. And then that morning, before I talked to her, I talked to one woman, and she ends up being a stepsister. And with our conversation, we both wished we were half-sisters. She is very sweet, and she is willing to talk to me. She's messaged me since then also. I was so afraid that with the first response that I wouldn't get a response again, but I did. And at the end of the workday, and I believe this was Wednesday actually, at the end of the workday, I talked to my half-sister, and I was able to listen to her and share with her and connect with her and be able to tell her that I have a big enough heart for a sister. You never know when you say these things, is it going to be received and stuff, but sometimes when you're doing these researches like this, you have to kind of take that step, and I took that step. And then she ended up, I was at work. Thank goodness my boss, it was after my work was done, and she hung around, and she stayed and listened and gave me a hug when I was done. That was so sweet. And she said, well, I'm not your sister, but I'll give you a hug. And she did. And then we left, and then I got me dinner and went home. Sat down and ate my dinner. Was just about through, and I got a call. And this man calls me, and And come to find out, he'd been talking to my half-sister and telling, and talking to her, and he had talked to the first stepsister. And so he calls me after he talks to a few people and getting things kind of lined up. He needed to. He needed to line things up so we could see if this, so they could see that what I researched was, you know, was lined up. And he had that wonderful Texan accent. I'm from Texas. They all have this wonderful, you know, just down in Texas accent. And he talked to me. When I answered the phone, said hello, because I knew who he was. And he goes, well, seems like we got some things to talk about. And we did, and we talked, and he lined up some of the things that he needed to say, and his dear wife, when she came in, didn't know that what he was doing. He said, hang on a minute, and he told her that he may be talking to his half-sister. She was very sweet and allowed us to speak. And then we talked for 2 hours. I was able, and you know, pause for a second, that when I talked to the first stepsister, immediately she sends me pictures. Picture after picture after picture. Ray, my first cousin, picture after picture after picture that I didn't have of my grandparents, of my biological father and family members, and that's what they're doing. They're giving me pictures. That one phone call I told you about on my results that I had with him was the only time I got to talk to him. And that one moment where he says, yeah, girl, I get you that picture. And I never got it. Well, I've got that and more since I've been able to do this research and contact them. When I was talking to the young man, that's my half-brother, we passed pictures. And we kept looking to see what physical traits that are similar. And we kept talking about facts and dates and that. And he was so sweet to show me his family. He was sweet and showed me, pictures of people too. So I got pictures. I have one favorite picture so far. And, he's not related to my brother, but it was amazing how I showed a young picture of him, and he said that looks like me. So, and it did. It does. He does look like one of his young pictures looks like my brother Paul. And I have all half siblings, but and I was able to get off all the details of the research that I learned. And I went back for a moment and told him a few things that my mother said to my ears that I forgot to tell the other two ladies. And when I gave him that fact, he said, that's it. That was a connection that we made that I feel that he knows that I wouldn't have known that if my mother didn't tell me. So it was wonderful to hear him share. He was sitting there relaxed, I could tell. And it was so much fun to connect with the lady that morning, with my stepsister, my first cousin, my half-sister. And my half-sister, I feel we have some similarities that we have, and was able to connect and tell her I have a big heart for a sister. And then my half brother, and we got off the phone after we were done. We got off the phone, and I went to the computer because I was not ready to sleep. I went to my computer, turned on my Facebook, because I'm trying to stay connected in case somebody needed to talk to me. And I started just, surfing the internet, and then I get this message on there. And I have family contacting me, and I had never had that before on my paternal side. So that's my week update. And after I contacted them, I was afraid that that would be the only time, and it wasn't. And I've shared with all of them that I'm not wanting anything other than, because everybody on my paternal side, they've had their family, they've had their life. I've had my family, I've had my life. So the best thing to do is to make friends and see if anybody wants to make a connection with me. You know, I'm not asking for anything other than that. And they've given me pictures. They've been so gracious to send me pictures, you know. And when I talk to Ray, I'm trying to say her name. I keep talking to my first cousin, and she, that day during lunch, and I told her, I said, I'm trying to figure out where my daughter looks like. And I said, my daughter's tall and she's got black hair. And she said, well, my grandma was tall and she had dark hair and she wasn't a woman to reckon with. And my daughter Nikki is so strong woman that she's not a woman to reckon with either. And that's not a bad thing. So, you know, all of us have been trying to find similarities and to do that thing. You know, what do you do when a new baby comes into your life? Well, you kind of check all the fingers and the toes and make sure the baby's breathing. And, oh, wow, it's a girl. You know, let's see if she looks like, got your teeth. And says when she grows up, does she have your teeth? When they, you know, and it's like, will she have my hair? Will she have your eyes? All that kind of stuff. Well, that's kind of what we're doing. And that's not a bad thing, you know, because we all wonder who the child is going to look like. So that's my update, and I'm trying not to say names because it's still a sensitive situation, and I don't want to harm anybody on my paternal side at all. And I hope to one day be able to come on here and say, to share that this is my family. I'm already excited about it. With the little bit that I can have, I'm excited about it because it's what I've never had. So, if you've never known your biological family, I highly suggest that you do either Ancestry.com or 23andMe. They're the larger of the two. And I don't know why it happened, but when I was so adamant about doing my test, I was like, I got to do this. I've got to do this year. I don't know why. And I looked at YouTube. You do your research and you find out what's the best place to do it. I just felt by how people were talking about it, Ancestry.com. So I did it. And he did it in June and then died 3 months later. And if it wasn't for some of the things that I had found in research, I wouldn't have found the family. And I don't know why I'm you know, they know me now. Why is it that this time in life that I've come into their life? Why couldn't it have been earlier? I don't know. But I've told all of them things happen for a reason. Things happen for a reason. And I don't know what my reason for being in their life is right now. But I'm not one that's going to be hurtful. I'm not going to be one that is going to be pushing myself until I'm wanted. And this is a big change for them because they didn't know there was anybody else. And I end up being the oldest one. I'm the oldest one, and there's bap, 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 and then, yeah, so yeah. I'm not going to tell details, I can't. So again, do the research, and I never showed you my spit test because that's too gross. So you do your spit test or you do the swab according to what company you want to use. There are some free ones you can upload your DNA to. I'm going to try that next. I'm going to upload to one of the channels. That's what I'm doing is research on. I've got my raw data on my desktop. I'm going to upload it to one of the other companies so you can see if there's any other matches. If you don't get as lucky as I did and you find things in the first company you've used, you can do. Now, I did see one of the channels that said Ancestry.com and 23andMe will not let you put theirs on, upload anything on theirs. So you'll have to find the ones that are free that you can. But then if you want to use past a certain point on their service, you may have to pay for it. But I haven't gone there yet, but I'm fixing to do that. And get that and do that because now I have this brand new hobby that I like to find out the facts in family trees. Because sometimes it gets to a point and you don't know what your grandparents knew because they passed away. So before life happens to me, I hope to get mine updated to where my family has it and they know it. So we are now waiting for William's results, and his should be on the 24th. His is being processed, and he is not knowing what Katie's is, so me and him will have an update video together because I'm going to do what he did for me, and I'm going to hide it and let him know what his is, just like we did. So stay updated, subscribe to my channel, like the video if you like it, comment, because I have downloaded something to see the comments now, and I can read your comments better. And I'm trying to respond to them. I'm a brand new YouTuber, and I'm trying to do better at responding. And I do thank you for your comment. There was one person that said, I hope he gives you a hug. What I have told my new family is that I want to give them a hug. And we can hug each other and try to melt away some of the hurts that each of us have had. And I have a big enough heart for all of them. And I look forward to the future. I've already gotten more than what I've ever expected that I would get. And that's pictures. Anything else is going to be icing on the cake. And my children want me to be happy because they've known all my life that I've not known that part. This is a part, and this has been so exciting for me. And yes, some of that has been where I've had to go into the past to learn, but now it's time to turn around and go to the future, and I'm looking forward to it. So my channel name is Liz Loves to Cook. I want to cook again, but right now we've been doing these Ancestry.com updates. We will do another update, not an update video, but we're going to do a video with William with his results. So we'll do that next. I do have something in my mind that I would like to do, maybe my old-time family recipe of biscuits. So I'm thinking about doing that video so that you can see how to make homemade biscuits. And then and I will give you any type of update videos that I can. I'm looking forward to what happens next, and just relaxing and enjoying my family and my friends. That's what I like to do, and I like to do that. So for fear for rambling on, any additions, William? We're good. William's my technical advisor on my Minor League YouTube channel. So I don't have a sign off yet, but I'm looking forward to all the new stuff. I'm looking forward to what we'll do next. I have fun to do this for my family. And y'all have a good rest of your Sunday. And we got a full week ahead of work. And the next holiday will be Valentine's Day. So y'all have a good day.